Hi, it's John from Research and Development. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Well, hello, John. Come here, have a seat. What can I help you with?
Well, did you hear about DMD2?
Well, I heard about this COVID-19. What's this DMD2? Is it dangerous?
Well, it's spreading for sure. It's sort of a navigation system that people tend to use more and more instead of Garmin devices. It's fast and modern, and they even have controllers to control it from the handlebar.
And controllers? Why would you want that? If I want something, I point at it. Zoom in, zoom out. Pamela, get me a coffee. It's as easy as that. Thank you, Sugar Pie.
And they let you do more things, like all the Android apps and roadbook navigation and ODB connectivity, and all the time they add more things that you can do. They're really finding new ways.
New ways? Let me remind you, John, we're in the navigation business. We don't find new ways, we find existing ways.
I was just thinking that the next generation may be a little bit more techy, and they want to do things their way.
Damn, John, you're right. I got a brilliant idea. For the next version, you'll include Solitaire in the XT version. The processor can handle it. And those DMD, whatever, TikTok kids, they'll go nuts. And we'll be ready for the future. So go make it happen now, John. And where was I?
Sorry, Garmin, that was a bit under the belt, but it only stings for a minute. But to put things into context, the Garmin, such as the Garmin XT for motorcycles, you get the box, take up the device, put it on your bike, power on, and you navigate. And that's pretty much all it does. Yeah, but it's dedicated for this turn-by-turn navigation. You can load GPX files, of course, and things like that. And that is all good. But what if a bunch of off-road and adventure maniacs came together and built the navigation system for the bike with the features that they want on the trails? And of course, that project exists, and the product is Drivemode Dashboard 2. In this video, I'm going to show you the latest 2023 upcoming release of the software. We take a look at the hardware, and in the end, let's summarize it, and you decide, is it better than Garmin? So the elevator pitch of DMD2 would be something like, deep breath. DMD2 is a off-road oriented navigation and information system with offline global map coverage, including roadbook navigation, ODB2 connectivity, all the apps from the Google App Store and all the navigation apps there if you want, and you control everything from the handlebar. So the system has three parts, where DMD2 is only the application. And since it's an app, you need a device to run it on. And to control it from your handlebars, you need a controller. And all these three parts have options for you, so you can modulate it the way you want it. As you might have seen in our videos, I have the device with DMD2 running on it and the handlebar controllers. And if you already have this system, I'm going to show you the not yet released version of DMD2, which is the new platform that will bring a lot of new cool features for the future. So this is just a sneak peek. Let's start with the app. So this is DMD2. And the first page here is the dashboard, where I get glimpses of all the different pieces of data that I want. I can have everything from bike values, from the ODB to GPS values. I have the map. Using my controller now on the bike, I can go from the map. I have opted to have the weather radar. That's a third-party app, a Windy, a Google Play app. So I can see where it's raining and things like that. And here's notifications from different apps. I can choose which notifications I want. And on the right panel, right now I have some apps that I want easy access to. And yeah, here's some trip data, average speed and things like that I want. And also sometimes I want to know the compass direction that I'm going. So diving in here a little bit. So I'm going to do this by hand. So if I want to change what's showing here, right now we're going at 1 kilometer per hour, but that's because I'm in a cellar bunker. So here I can customize it. So I have the RPMs if I have an ODB connector, and some values here. If I want this instead to be the media player control, I can have some media buttons here. So changing a bit more, I can set the different things that I want here. So I can choose from a lot of things: trip stats, app shortcuts, media player, GPS and ODB indicators, GPS heading, clock, and a lot of stuff. So that's, you configure it the way you want it. So instead here I want some values, and here I can set here's the total time for the trip, but I can change that to GPS speed. There's so much and that I can have here. If I get it from the ODB, I can have coolant temperature and things like that. All right. Okay, so let's control from the handlebar here and go over to next page, which is map. So here is the map, and I can use my handlebar here to pan around, center on my location, zoom out, zoom in, and let's dive into, I'm going to use my fingers because it's easier to show the things that I have here. So here's a few GPX files that I have. I have the GPXs. I can set different kinds of colors and transparency and choose what to show and not. I have all the different base maps. So I can go and download maps from Middle East, USA. The whole world is covered, including, I got a question about that, including all of Africa. And I just choose the maps that I want to download. They're all free. I really like the map in DMD2 because it's really detailed and made for off-road use. As you can see, I have opted to have all the unpaved tracks here highlighted, so I can see the unpaved parts actually easier than I can see the normal roads. And they are all color coded in different stripes and colors for different types of surface and so on. I have all kinds of points of interest. I can take a look at TET Sweden here, for instance, and choose which parts of the tracks I want and which colors and so on. So it's really, really optimal for navigating for the GPX files. And there's so many options here. I don't have the time to go through everything, but there are some really neat features coming up on this map, which is not 100% finished at the point of I'm showing this to you. The thing that is lacking on release is turn-by-turn navigation to routes that you make here. That will happen later. But the way I usually go around is to just follow GPX tracks like that. I never used turn-by-turn. I just follow this and I deviate from it if I want and hook back onto it. Doesn't matter. I can also have a satellite overlay like this, and there will be more overlays that you can get on the map coming also. If I want to load a different GPX, since it's Android connected to Google Drive, I can load a new file, and from my computer at home, I can go to my folders here. I just drop files from my computer or on my mobile phone, and I can go just pick up a little trip here. It's loading, and now it's added to the map. The map itself is in-app purchase, so you have to buy to unlock the map. Same goes for the roadbook, but it's about $5 euros plus tax, I think it is. So it's not a big investment. So let's head over to Roadbook. So using the handlebar controllers, I can scroll the roadbook like this while I'm riding, following the instructions, and using some other buttons I can increase the trip meter or reset it, and we have partial distance and everything like that. So it's pretty much everything that you need for a roadbook experience there. So the next page is the ODB dashboard, so to speak. So it shows my speed based on the bike data or the GPS. I have the coolant temperature, 16 degrees, and everything is not connected at the moment, but I have to start the bike. Let's try that. Yeah, as you could see there, I could also get the values on the dashboard if I wanted to. I can also bring up coolant temperature on the map, and yeah, so you can really put whatever data you have on the system pretty much anywhere where you want it. Yeah, then we have some usual apps, settings, yeah, and we're back home. And if you like ODB connectivity to get the engine temperature and everything up on the display, you need ODB2 dongle like this. It's called ODB Link LX. This is a good one because it updates with high frequency, and it also turns the power off itself when it's not connected to any device. It's cool to have, of course, but truth be told, I have the numbers on the bike display, so it's not a must-have really. I'm just curious. So we're back on the bike with the thing, and yeah, I have also the other apps that I get from Google Play, whatever you want, Mario Kart or whatever. I have the TET app, so I can download new and updated tracks wherever I am. I have the weather app, Google Drive if I want to do something, Google Maps if I want to find the currently open Starbucks or something, browse for hotels, book the hotels and pay for them. I can do everything through the pad if I want to. So that's that about the app. There's much more to tell about that, but we have to get back on that, I guess. You can customize it in so many ways and use so many different apps, which are also controllable through the handlebar controllers, which is what we're going to talk about now. And there are two options for the controllers. And you can get the adventure controller, which I think is the most commonly used one. And it has a small joystick for the thumb for direction and panning and things like that. And you have the buttons, 3 buttons on it. And I have the second option, which is the terrain command controller. And they do exactly the same thing. The only difference is that you have 2 sections with 4 buttons, and you can put them together, or you can put one on each side as I have done. So I use both sides to do that. And the reason for that is I've divided them because of space. I don't have space here to have them both in line. And I like only the buttons, because if the road is bumpy and things like that, I can easily press these industry standard buttons without problem. While the joystick is really also industry feeling, but yeah, it's a bit harder to control the thumb if you're going off-road like that. Both of the controllers are connected via cable to power supply on the bike. I have connected mine to the ignition, but you can go directly to the battery if you like, because there's a small circuit there that turns power off if the engine is not running. So that is the big thing with this system also, I think, to be able to control it, zooming, panning maps, especially when you're writing GPX files and following them, and to see, look for ways around something, and especially with the map, and of course road booking if you're into that. Setting the trip meter and scrolling the road book is only way to do that is through the handlebars like that. And so to the device that you run everything on, as mentioned earlier, the only thing you need to run it on is an Android device. Any phone or whatever you want, the DMD2 and the handlebar controllers will work on that. So I have here the current version. This is Seymour's rugged DoG Android phone. It's sort of industry grade IP68 rugged phone, works great, and it doesn't take as much space also. So it's also just as great for running this on. So it doesn't have to be that expensive, because the more expensive part of this setup is the Carpe Iter pad. And you get more viewing space. Many users actually have the Samsung Galaxy Active Tab 2 or 3, and they put that on their bike, and they're super happy about that. I have this because it's super rugged also. But it's also tailored inside with the right parts to be as effective for navigation as possible. For instance, the GPS circuit in here, it updates 5 times every second. On a normal Samsung phone or something like that, you have 1 update per second. So it's a little bit more detail in the GPS when you're recording and things like that. It has a special tailored charging part, which takes battery temperature into consideration. So if you're in hot climate, you can leave the charging on all the time in the sun, and it will not overheat. And it has included also the mounting bracket here with power supply and 2 power supply points. You have the pins in the back and also M8 cable here that connects to it. So, but you don't need this to start. I'd recommend just starting off with whatever Android phone you have, get the controller, you'll love it, and start using it. More features are coming all the time, especially when it comes to route planning, but also things like locations of your buddies on the map. So if you want to fill up gas, for instance, you can see how far can I go on my GPX trail that I'm on, and where should I deviate from it, and where should I go to fill up. So it takes sort of the track you want to ride into consideration, and not the closest from where you are right now. So things like that, details that sort of comes from off-road people making this. So there you have it, DMD2 with the devices and controllers and everything. Is it better than Garmin? I think it's different than Garmin. It's a different kind of, not only the navigation is a bit different oriented, but you have all these other apps, and I'm a connected guy. I like all the apps and stuff, but sometimes I just turn it off because I want to go and find my own way and things like that. But I really like the flexibility. Sometimes I go scouting just looking at the map, nothing prepared. It's a great map to pan around and see where you can go. I can see weather coming in, where it's raining right now. Yeah, it's sort of, I can go from very light to full digital TikTok kid on this thing. And that's what I like. Yeah, so I'm not selling this to you. I don't get provision, but I'd like to show you what it is, and you decide if you want to try or not. Time to wrap up. If you liked the intro that I had so much fun doing, give it a thumbs up. Oh, you're still here? Then I suggest you watch this video because we enjoyed making that too. All right, see you next time. Ciao. Oh, there it is. Oh, I have to call Thomas to get the real oh.